Everywhere. Am I right? Okay. One thing I notice every time I go to a Rotary is how involved you are in the community. And I've been not a Rotarian for many, many years for whatever reason, so I apologize about that. But being on a not-for-profit board and what we collectively do as citizens to help those who are less fortunate or give them a helping hand with a scholarship is far greater than I think any of us believe. Just before I get started with my presentation, I've had veterans call me far away from California that I don't know, thanking me for helping out with other homeless veterans. And that comment's not about me, because everyone in this room, I'm sure, has touched somebody somewhere along the line. So it's always great to come out and speak in front of groups that support the community. Creating fans, not just clients. The question becomes, why would you want a fan and not just a client?
Get more clients.
Well, that's part of it. It's the answer to this question. When someone refers you or you ask for someone, do you know somebody who does something? And the responses are one or two. I will only use Paul, or yeah, I'd get a quote from Paul. I'd make him one of your three. This happened recently to me at my house. Over the last year or so, I don't think I'm the only person that has needed tree service. So I called the contractor who put some windows in my house, who had been in town for about 15 years. And I said, David, who would you use? I need some tree work done. Who would you use? He said, I would use a company, and I believe it's called Michael's Tree Service. They've got an office, I believe they're out of Kinnelon, New Jersey. And here's his number. I said, okay, thank you. My neighbor, who's been in Bruton for 60 plus years, I go, Corey, I need some tree work done. Who would you call? He said, Michael's Tree Service. So really? So, as you know, I'm vice president of the not-for-profit. We have about 30 or 40 properties. Come to find out, who do we use? Michael's Tree Service. Who do you think I called? Michael's Tree Service. And none of them hesitated. Not one of them hesitated to tell me about Michael's Tree Service. That's why you want a fan, not just a client. For those of you who may or may not know my background, I've never shared it with you before. I started my career in the slate and tile roofing business with my father. A business my father bought in 1950, founded in 1918. And just a quick aside, people say, why are you not in this business anymore? Because we were rather successful. We turned it into a major building restoration company. I'm not in the business anymore because my father and office manager both died 6 weeks apart back in the late 1990s, so we moved on. The point I'm making about fans, not clients, is 1980, 1981, I went into business with my father after college. We had clients at that point in time, from building owners and institutions, that firm had put the slate and tile roofs on at the beginning of the last century. Some of the roofs that we put on were Upper Montclair Golf Club, Mountain Carmel Church, and Holy Name Hospital in Teaneck. Our firm put those roofs on somewhere in the 1920s, 1930s, whenever they were built. I had serviced all those buildings in the 1980s and 1990s. I physically was on all those buildings. Those were fans of that company. They weren't just clients. And it's no surprise that we had doctors, parishioners, and members of Upper Montclair Golf Club that were our clients as well. It had a huge rippling effect when you have a fan and not just a client. Here's the bad news. There's no silver bullet. Here's the good news. There's no silver bullet. It's a continual process that you can begin today, and many of you may already do it, that you can begin today to enhance your relationships with your clients to make sure they are fans and not just customers or clients that walk into your store or call you up out of habit. So where does it begin? How many people have been to a sports arena or ever seen one on television? Most people, right? Well, there's a band and a sphere up in that arena. I call it the skybox. It is strategically located to give the coaches and the press the best view of the stadium. The best view of the stadium. In football, it is so located, it is the only person or the only group of people that can see end zone to end zone, one sideline through the other sideline. You see, the coaches do not have the best vantage point. The players do not have the best vantage point. The person conducting the play. Let's go back. Remember the Super Bowl where the Tyree caught the thing on his helmet? Yeah. Back in, I think it was Arizona, it must be 5-6 years ago now. Yeah. Everybody loved the way the play looked. Tyree never saw it. He was too acutely focused at his job at hand. Step one of creating a fan, not just a client, is to begin to look at your product or service from your client's perspective. Even if you have to ask someone to do it. Because the coach who's in that skybox, he's not there to criticize the players. He's there to politely and effectively and efficiently critique them. To say what I call polish in the assets and polish out the liabilities. We all look at businesses, our own business, through our own eyes and through our own vantage point. It's just natural. It's called lenses. My daughter actually, I didn't know this at the time when I was putting these presentations together. My daughter was actually doing a paper on how you look at things through lenses in college. So, but that was kind of an oddity. But we look at things through our own vantage point. And what I always recommend is to have someone look at your business through someone else's viewpoint. If you own a store, what does it look like and feel like when someone walks in that store? When someone calls you on the phone, how do you answer the phone? I gave this presentation to a construction company once, and this could apply to any business. In today's world, there's two things that happen on the phone. One is you get 700 prompts before you get to the person that you answer, which is a beef phone. The second thing is you get a person who can't answer the phone. When was the last time any major company, doctor's office, lawyer's office, ever just taught someone how to answer the phone? That is the first introduction to your company. That is the first introduction. It should be as welcoming as you opening your living room door and having guests over. Number one, take a look at your business from your client's perspective, even things as simple as how is your telephone being answered. Number two, there's 3 stages of preparation into everything we do. 3 distinct stages of preparation. And this is why I like sports and the arts so much, because they are visual representations of what we do every day and have the ability to take us out of our sphere, out of our own world. I'm in the finance and speaking world. I live in it. When I go to an arts or the opera, I'm in a whole different world. But what I see, I apply to what I do every day. 3 stages of preparation. Personal preparation. That's how we prepare ourselves. I just listened to your group giving scholarships out, preparing to give scholarships out, and their resumes. Those children, those young children, they don't probably know what if I call them children, but those young students and those young men and women have been personally preparing themselves for their next stage of life. Personal preparation. It's what we do to enhance our own career. Organizational preparation. Who are we going to work with? Who is in our team? There's probably no one in this room that provides a product or service so independent you rely on no one. That even a solopreneur needs assistance of some sort. Action preparation. Those are the items that we do right before a client sees what we do. For example, even this meeting today. Now, you may already be on autopilot here at the Brick House. Someone had to originally organize this meeting. Someone had the ability to put together to make sure the chairs were in place, however your contract is arranged with the brick house, so on and so forth. And it had to be organized. We had to make sure the right cook is here, the doors are open, all those other elements. And then there's a confirmation before we all show up. For example, Paul sent me an email. Are you ready, Todd? You're still on. What are you speaking about? Every single thing we do encompasses those 3 stages of preparation. And the most important one is what I call personal preparation. Because we own it. We own personal preparation. I believe everyone should have a personal preparation program that encompasses some type of education, 15 to 30 minutes a day. Just like an athlete and just like a musician. The key is, what do you educate yourself on? There's several elements. The first item is you need to be an expert in your profession, irrespective of what your profession is. And you need to stay on top of your profession. In 1981, I share with you, I was in the construction world, in the restoration. Up to 1981, architects were still designing buildings using T-squares and triangles, which were designed during the Greek and Roman Empire. 1981, there was a computer program that came out called CAD, Computer Assisted Drafting. How would you feel today if you walked into an architect's office and they were still drawing with T-squares and triangles? That's how we look when we're not on top of our industry. You need to stay on top of your client's industry. And you need to stay on top of your client's industry. Because believe it or not, your clients are the ones who actually pay you. The money just stops in the middle. I like to use the person when they design grocery stores. You have an architect who designs grocery stores and makes an absolutely beautiful building to the benefit of the owner. No. To enhance the customers to come to that store, in which then the architect can be paid. As much as the grocery store person's paying the salary, the architect really wants to make the client the happiest. So you need to stay on your top of your client's industry and your client's industry. Now to the last part of your preparation. In sports, there's an underlying training program for every athlete, irrespective of what field of endeavor you're in. And that is to keep your body in shape and to keep your diet and yourself internally healthy. I don't care if you're a swimmer, a football player, a baseball player, and I spent 13 years studying karate as an adult. There's a certain aspect of athleticism that transcends everything. In music, I currently study trumpet. My brother studied trombone, my other brother played saxophone, my daughters are singers, and my father played sax and piano when he was alive. What was the underlying element, irrespective of what any of us played? Scales. Scales of practice. So what is the common denominator for every business? How to deal with people. It doesn't matter what business you're in, is how to deal with people. And I always recommend to people, take a look at your business as you are in the people business. And the way you earn your income is the commodity. It doesn't matter. That's how we kept all those clients from 1918, 1920 until we closed the business in the late 1990s. The year 2000. We were in the people business. How important is a personal preparation program? I'm going to take you back to somewhere around 1968, 1969, 1970. I was a young boy then. We all had, in my neighborhood, we had subscriptions to Popular Mechanics or Popular Science at the time, and I forget which one I had, and the story really doesn't matter. I was a young boy, 10, 11, somewhere in that category. The magazine came in, what's new in the roofing industry? So being an excited boy, I was rather close to my father. I was all excited. I read the article, loaned it to my father. My father politely said, okay, Todd, I'll read it. I think he was doing me a favor more than he really wanted to read the article, but he did what he did. Come out once a month. Sometime during that month, my father sat down at the kitchen table. We were having family dinner. I do not know if we have family dinner anymore. My kids are older than wanting to have dinner with their father. So he's sitting at family dinner. My father was a true gentleman. Looked over his glasses and said, Todd, I read that article. I said, okay. He said, I went to see a new client today. So I'll never forget this story. I said, okay. He said, they had questions right from that article. He said, I got the contract. Articles 4 or 5 pages long in these magazines. What was that 15 minutes worth? What was it worth? My mother was home raising 3 boys. I don't think she had re-entered the workforce yet. There were 4 years that separated myself, or my older brother and my younger brother, and I had a sister who had just gone off to college in 1968. For those people remember 1968, 1969, colleges were a little tumultuous. So what was it worth to my father? He was the breadwinner at the time. Why is having a personal preparation, specifically one that keys in on dealing with people, important? In my most humble opinion, there are 7 stages of business. From the time someone meets you, or just prior to meeting you, getting them through getting paid, what I call follow-up and follow-through. First one's awareness. Marketing. I'm going to use an electrical company as an example. Second one's an introduction. Sometimes they're one and the same if you're networking, sometimes they're not. For example, let's use Paul for a minute. Someone calls Paul and says, hey, look, I need someone to do a commercial mortgage or someone speaking. Yes, and there's Todd. Well, he did my awareness part, and then he makes the introduction. People hire us to solve a problem. That's just what they do. They need money managed, their car broke down, they need it repaired, the electric doesn't work, they bring the electrician in. We're in step 4. You provide the solution. Step 5, you submit a contract, and contracts vary. Sometimes it's a formal contract, sometimes if anyone's in a retail store, they walk up to the counter, they pay, that's considered a contract as well. Now with the electrical contract, for example, he's got the contract, step 6, he goes and does the work. Rewires your house, corrects the outlet. Step 7, he gets paid and he follows up and follows through. If you're keeping count, 6 of the 7 steps are people skill heavy, backed up by your acute knowledge of your profession. And only one of those steps do you actually completely 100% execute what you were hired to do. That's how important the people skills are. That's why part of your personal preparation program needs to be the study of how to deal with people. Just like the athlete needs to do their push-ups, their sit-ups. Just like they need to stretch. They need to do their sprints faster. Just in the same manner that a musician needs to do their scales. My music teacher has been playing professionally for 50 years. 50 years. Plays with Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, Bruce Springsteen, the whole team. He still does his scales. Still does his scales. There's no end to the ability or the personal preparation program, and there's no end to how to deal with people. The next generation, they always are upheaval. Now it's the millennials. How do you deal with millennials? Well, how would you like to have been a World War II vet and have to deal with someone who got out of college in 68, 1969, 70, 71, or 72? I don't think they were easy to deal with either. And many of them are our peers at this point. But we need to learn how to deal with the people because they are truly, that is truly the business we are in. I wish everyone here as many fans as you could possibly have, so you have to close your doors or have them wrapped around the corner of your building. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them.